Monica Akipachan, our co-hosting team, good morning to you. Thank you very much for backing me up. Amish Prabhu, Hare Krishna, and Monkey, good morning. Jamuna Jai and Hanumanji are here. Lileshwari is here. Lileshwari is Chitragopi's biggest fan, we observed. Narayani Dasi, Hare Krishna. Sharmila, good morning. Susan, good morning. Good morning, Suzanne. Good morning, Will Prabhu. Vikeshwari, good morning. Dana Kelly, Dasa, good morning. Angeli Wilson, good morning. Welcome, everybody. Whatever happened in your life that brought you to this class this morning was auspicious and glorious. Thank you very much for tuning in. Shraddha Gopi, we're happy to see you. Thank you so much for dedicating this Ekadashi time for this little class. Thank you very much. We saw you at the harinam yesterday. It was so nice to see you. Thank you very much. Okay, let me start the recording.
Recording in progress.
And live stream, and we're good to go.
Jai, thank you so much. It was really, really wonderful to see all the devotees at Harinam yesterday. Sometimes it's easy to forget Mahaprabhu's modern day pastimes, and especially in New York. We can get so caught up in our own day-to-day lives, and then we recharge. We put the plug into the socket, and we recharge our batteries, and we head out and become part of those modern day pastimes, and next thing you know, all of a sudden everything looks different, isn't it? New York takes on a different hue.
Modern day pastimes, I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So sweet. So, without further ado, of course, we will immediately dive in. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Nilachala nivasaya nityaya paramatmane Bhalabhadra subhadraya Jagannataya te namaha Jagannataya te namaha Jagannataya te namaha. So, on this most incredible, special, filled with sweetness Ekadashi, I kind of gave it away with opening prayers about what we'll be speaking about. Because it is for us the day before Rathyatra in New York, how could we have an Ekadashi lecture without speaking about the glories of Lord Jagannath? So today is going to be one of my favorites. I remember listening to and hearing these stories when I was really little, 8, 9 years old, and they always stayed with me. So I hope to be able to bring these pastimes to all of you. Lord Jagannath is inconceivable, incredible, amazing, wonderful. He has the most unique form. He gives some of the most unique mercy. And as I was preparing for this lecture and thinking about so many things, I was thinking about everybody in so many different aspects and places in their lives. And I was thinking that this weekend will be one of the most important weekends in so many people's lives. There are people who I know who are getting initiated this weekend. There's all kinds of things happening. And I thought, actually, every single day, any day, could be the most important day in somebody's life. It could very well be the day that you surrender to Krishna. And therefore would be the most important day of your entire life. So as our dear Ananda Bihari was saying, what brought you here was not accident. This is divine arrangement. All of the stars aligned, all of the devatas conspired, they rearranged your entire life, they moved you around like a chess piece, and now here you are, on what is undoubtedly the most important day of our lives. This Ekadashi is incredibly special. They say that observing the Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi is like observing all of the other Ekadashis of the entire year. If, by chance, you have missed any Ekadashis throughout the entire year, if you observe this one, it takes the place of all the others. It's fine. That's not to say that we should be haphazard about our Ekadashis and simply run and take shelter of this one. We should always run and take shelter, but it just lets us know that first we think Krishna gives his mercy in the form of the holy name. What if we don't take it? Then Krishna rearranges the workings of the entire universe and says, I will make a special day. No problem. Just fasting a little bit on that day will absolve you of all sins, I promise. But what if we don't take it? Such was the case with the Pandava Bhimasen. And because there's so many stories, but Bhimasen says one day, "Oh Krishna, you have been recounting the glories of Ekadashi for so long. My elder brother Yudhishthira has asked you question after question after question, what are the glories? So many of these Ekadashis, and you've answered so patiently, but I have a problem. I am called Vikrodar. My appetite is like a wolf, devouring everything. I'm the son of the wind god. Everything about me is very big, very unpredictable. The hunger is exactly the same. You want me to fast twice a month, but you don't understand my plight. I find it difficult to fast even between meals. There's a meal in the morning, and somehow before the meal in the afternoon, I think I might just die. So you have to do something. What can you do for me? I'm your very own person." Our compassionate Krishna looks at his dear cousin brother and says, "No problem. I understand twice a month is going to be a big endeavor. So, I will devise one simply, specially for you. So special that it will be named after you. Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi. If you fast on that one Ekadashi, I guarantee you that all the merits, all the benefits, all of the wonderful mercy which is encapsulated within all of the other Ekadashis will descend upon your life in that one. You just fast on that one. No problem." Krishna is that friend. He is that friend. That friend who says, "I already made arrangements for you. No problem, I'll make more." If this isn't a friend, I don't know what is. Krishna is constantly endeavoring for us. And what do we do for Krishna? This brings us to the beginning of the story of Lord Jagannath. What can't Krishna understand? Krishna can understand everything. I've said it time and again. There is nothing that you will go through ever that Krishna will not understand. He's already been there, done it, saved them, got the t-shirt. Already. There is nothing that you will go through that Krishna will not understand. So what won't our Lord understand? Krishna can understand everything, except why and how his devotees seem to love him so much. That's a problem. Krishna says, I'm a supreme person. I should have access to everything. And yet somehow they look at me and they experience something which is unfathomable even to me. His Holiness Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj says, it's like trying to see your own face. You can't see your own face, just not on its own. You need the help of a mirror. So Krishna thinks this love is like trying to observe my own face. Krishna needs the help of a mirror. Gaur Govinda Maharaj says, what is that mirror? In order to see the face of love, you need the mirror of the heart of the devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. This chanting of the holy name is like cleansing the mirror of the heart. Now, we always think about the heart as a mirror if we've recited these prayers in the morning. But what is the purpose of that mirror? It is for Krishna to see his very own face. It's for Krishna to see his own reflection. Krishna lives in the heart. That heart is a mirror. He looks in, he gets to see his own face. But our mirrors are covered. Yikes. Our mirrors have so much on them. There is one mirror, however, that has nothing on it. It is crystal clear. In fact, the mirror is so beautiful that it reflects a beauty even greater than the actual image. How could it be? It's like a mirror with a filter on it. Right? You ever get it? Like my sister, sometimes she looks and she says, you know, I was watching a video. Do you have a filter on? I'm like, not so much. It's just like a little bit. It's like, I don't know what's happening. It looks, you look great. I'm like, it's not me. It's definitely Krishna, because it's not me. And if you ever get into the Zoom meeting, you know, you look at the preferences and they're like, would you like to touch up your screen? This is that supreme mirror. A mirror with a filter that shows all of the best qualities, that makes the object within the mirror appear even more beautiful than the reality of the object. This mirror is the heart of Srimati Radharani. When Krishna takes a look into that heart, he sees a beauty even greater than anything he could ever comprehend. And so for many, 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 many reasons, as Krishna looks deeper and deeper and deeper into the heart of Srimati Radharani, not only is there a filter, but his appearance begins to change. It turns from deep, dark blue, almost blackish complexion to golden like Sri Radha. Looking into this mirror, he absorbs her mood, her love, her utmost compassion, and he assumes the form of Gaura Chandra. Now, that's all well and good, but what does that have to do with Lord Jagannath? I promised some things. So, this love of Srimati Radhika has entranced Krishna so much that Krishna grows up, becomes a big man. He externally leaves Vrndavan, heads to Mathura. From Mathura, he heads to Dwarka. In Dwarka, he gets more family members. He has wives. He even gets more siblings. Plural. More siblings, plural. And my sister and I were reading various things, and we came to know that one of his siblings is a younger brother. That younger brother is named Gada. And so if you've ever heard of the name Gadagraj, it is a name for both Krishna and Balaram, which means the elder brother of Gada. This Gada was one of the many family members who appears after Krishna's pastimes in Vrndavan. So he goes and he frees his parents, and they have more family members. How amazing! And there are so many family members, which gives me hope. We can all become part of the family of Krishna. He has such vast room for all of us. And so, within Dwarka, we find Uddhava. Uddhava is an advisor of Krishna. It's like his best friend, like his very own shadow. He looks like Krishna. He walks like Krishna. He also happens to be Krishna's cousin. He becomes his dearest, dearest friend and confidant. Somehow or other, Uddhava has gotten the greatest fortune that when Krishna finds himself inconsolably missing home, he goes to Uddhava and says, "Oh, my dear Uddhava, you can understand my plight." Sometimes Krishna finds himself so inconsolable that he cries an endless stream of tears. His Holiness Shivaram Maharaj makes a point that these tears are like a monsoon cloud of rain. Krishna himself is like a monsoon cloud, and that monsoon cloud is as unlimited as Krishna, and so the downpour of tears is unlimited. They say he drenches everything with these tears, and he places his head upon Uddhava's lap and he cries bitterly. One day, Krishna, in such a mood, falls unconscious. Everybody thinks what to do. What do we do? Uddhava is there. Balarama is also there. And on the scene appears Narada Muni. Narada Muni is quite fond of visiting Dwarka. He likes to see a lot of these inconceivable pastimes. And he sees so many things, but today, Krishna is lying unconscious. No one can wake him. No one can bring him back to external consciousness. No one can do anything. This is a quandary. If Krishna remains unconscious, the Dwarkavasis will lose their lives. If the Dwarkavasis lose their lives, so many other people lose their lives. The Mathuravasis will lose their lives. Vrndavan Vasis will lose their lives. The entire planet will lose their lives. A side note, one devotee is asking, where can we find out more about Krishna's younger brother, Gada? Actually, the internet is a really amazing thing. Because I read about Gada. We read about Gada in Garga Samhita. And then somehow, the simplest of Google searches, Google has really grown over the years, because this wasn't possible years ago. But over the years, it's become such a resource. So if you Google it, just G-A-D-A, you'll find out some really wonderful information. But also you can hear much about him within Garga Samhita. And then, once you hear about him, a mystical thing happens. Once you find out about him, I guarantee you, now he's going to pop up. In the most obscure ways. You'll find out about him in Krishna book, like you'll hear him just mentioned offhand. You'll be reading something in Srimad Bhagavatam, they'll mention offhand, and you'll think, was this always here? Was I always reading this and then just... So now we've all been introduced to Krishna's younger brother. It's a pleasure to meet you. We pray that you stay within our lives and take us closer to your elder brothers, both of them. So, Krishna's unconscious, we're in a quandary. What do we do? What can be done? Narada Muni comes up with a plan. He says, well, there's only one thing that can usually bring Krishna out of these incredible trances. Someone should extol the glories of Sri Vrndavan. They say, no, it's a problem. If anyone speaks about Braj Bhumi, not only will Krishna awaken, but he'll immediately want to go there, and then what will we do? What should we do? Everyone decides, actually, it won't be so bad. Krishna should go back. And as a matter of fact, everyone should go and tell the Brajbasis that Krishna is coming. Narada looks at Baladev and he says, first he actually looks at Uddhava. He says, Uddhava, you should go. Uddhava says, I would go, but I already did that. Once I went and I saw the condition of the Brijabasis. They were holding on for dear life. The entire Vrndavan did not look like before. There were no flowering trees with vine creepers. Where was the jewel-like dust of Vrndavan? Where were the wonderful milk-white cows in all of the lanes? Where was Nanda Maharaja's happiness? Where was Yashodarani's compassionate glance? Everyone was just desolate. I can't go because I went there before and I tried to console them. He says, I am a great learner of logic. I know so much. When you get someone who is materialistic and they've lost all their materialistic things and they're crying bitterly, you can tell them, you can reason with them. Why cry for such materialistic things? They come and they go by the arrangement of material nature. These Brijabasis were not crying for materialistic things. They were crying for Krishna. How can I reason with someone who is crying for Krishna? How can I reason with someone who has lost the love of their life? All I could say was cry more. In that moment of meeting the Brijabasis, I am a wonderful orator. I speak amazingly. I am the advisor of the entire Yadu dynasty. My wisdom failed me. All of my words failed me and my mission failed. All I could do was ask, "Oh, Brijabasis, what can I do for you?" And all they asked was, "Tell Krishna to return soon." I said, "I promise. I will bring Krishna, I promise." I came back to Dwarka. Krishna greeted me and hugged me for as long as he could, just trying to absorb the dust of Vrndavan from my skin. I said, "Krishna, the Brijabasis are eagerly waiting for you. If you don't return, they'll lose their lives." Krishna said, I'll go. Years have passed, and still he hasn't gone. How can I go back and tell the Brijabasis? They won't believe me. They'll say, "Uddhava, you're a liar. You came before and spoke good words. You said all these things. You were so sweet. You promised. You said all the right things. Where's the action? You've lied. How can we put our faith and trust in you again?" Uddhava says, "I won't go. Not again." Narada looks at Balarama. He says, "Oh, you are Dauji. Surely you can go. Surely the Brijabasis will believe you." Balaram says, "My younger brother Krishna is merely a procrastinator. I went to Vrndavan. I spent 2 months there. I touched the lotus feet of my mother Jashoda. I caressed her lotus face. I looked into her eyes and I said, 'Oh, mother, don't worry. Krishna has not forsaken you. Krishna will return.'" Balaram says, "I even spoke to the gopis. I said, 'Oh, dearests of Krishna, don't worry. Krishna will return.' The gopis look at me as their guru. For them, I am Dao Guru. I am the guru of the entire universe. When I make a promise, it is with the weight of being the spiritual master of the entire universe. I promised them Krishna will return. They took me at my word. And I came back. I said, 'Oh, Krishna, it is upon my order. Take this order upon your head. You must go back to Vrndavan.' Krishna said, 'I'll go, I promise.' Balaram says, Krishna before was so fond of following my orders, and now he's merely a procrastinator. If I go back and tell them that Krishna is coming, they will look at me and say, 'You are as unreliable as your younger brother. You are nothing but a cheater and a liar. How could we have put our faith in you? We called you our guru and you've lied. Never again will we listen to you.' Balaram says, how can I face them? How can I look at them? With these thoughts in mind, Balaram, the support of the entire universe, able to withstand anything, able to withhold and uphold the burden of the entire earth. Balaram is able to relieve the burden of the entire earth. He is the shelter, the support, the very heart and protector of the entire universe. Thinking about the plight of the Brijbasis, Balaram puts his head down and cries. He cries piteously. Krishna Balaram are the heroes of all of our stories. We've spoken many pastimes, and Krishna Balaram are always the heroes. And yet, Krishna is unconscious, and Balaram says, I can't save this one. Who will be our hero now? Narada's confused. Uddhava's confused. Baladev is completely inconsolable. In walks a hero, Subhadra Devi. The younger sister of Krishna Balaram arrives and says, I will go. I understand that all of you have already tried your best, but I will go. I'll make a plan. I will arrive in Vrndavan carrying the message that, oh, Krishna is coming. She said, I will sit on Mother Jashoda's lap. I will smooth away her tears, and I will say, I promise Krishna is coming. You can trust me. Why can you trust me? She said, I will gather together all of the gopis, and I will say, men are crooked. They can't be trusted. Completely unreliable. I agree. I agree with you. No problem. Completely unreliable. Untrustworthy. Don't even look in their direction. But I am a woman. Soft-hearted. Other than me, who can understand your plight? Other than me, who can understand your love and affection? On my being a woman, on my understanding of you, I promise you, my brother is coming. They will regain their lives. They will put their faith and their trust in me. Krishna will go. So, I will go to Vrndavan. And then, she says, please prepare my chariot. Balaram says, well, if you go, I won't let you go alone. I will always be with you to protect you. But also, Balaram wants to see this festival of bliss that is occurring. Balaram says, I'm also going. Everybody prepare my chariot. The rest say, what should we do? They said, you all come along. Everybody come. No problem. He says, you, Narada, you wait until we've left. And then I want you to begin to sing the glories of Sri Vrndavan Dham along with your Veena. Then when Krishna awakens, you tell him, oh Krishna, the only way to awaken you is to sing the glories of Vrndavan Dham, but you are not in Vrndavan Dham. You should go to Vrndavan Dham immediately. Krishna will leave for Vrndavan Dham. Uddhava, you also come. Everybody go. And so, they make a plan. Srimati Subhadra Devi jumps on her chariot. Baladev says, I also will jump on my chariot, but in order to pave the way and in order to protect you, I will go first. And so sometimes we see, traditionally within the Rathyatra festival, Baladev goes first. Subhadra Devi comes next. After they've left, then Narada Muni begins to sing on his Veena about Radhika Raman. Right, we've heard this. Narada Muni bajai Veena Radhika Raman name. The moment he begins to sing, Krishna awakens. Oh Radhika Raman. Oh beloved of Srimati Radhika. He sings about the glories and the pastimes of Sri Vrndavan Dham. Krishna immediately jumps up. He is immediately awakened. He begins to stand in a threefold bending form. Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj says, in Dwarka there's no flute. There's not even a peacock feather, how it used to be. He's given up so much. He feels such separation from them. He says that this Krishna is always in the mood of viraha bhav. This separation from all of his family members. The greatest things that he had in life. So he immediately begins to stand in a threefold bending form. He says, "Where's my flute? Where is my flute? I can't find the flute. This must be the work of those crooked gopis. They must have stolen it. Let me go find my flute immediately." And then he looks and he says, "Uddhava, what are you doing in Vrndavan?" And then he looks and he says, "Narada, what are you doing in Vrndavan? This must not be Vrndavan. Where am I?" He said, "Oh, my dearest Krishna, you're right. This is not Vrndavan. This is Dwarka, but we have prepared your chariot. You should go to Vrndavan immediately." He says, I will go. I promise I will go." And he runs to his chariot, he jumps on the chariot, and they take off for Sri Vrndavan Dham. Meanwhile, Baladev is headed off first. Srimati Subhadra Devi is headed off after him. They arrive in Vrndavan. They arrive in Vrndavan, and Srimati Subhadra Devi is carrying the message, "Krishna is coming. Oh, Brajabasis, Krishna is coming." Imagine tomorrow, if we all wake up in the morning, all of us who are fortunate to be in New York, and we arrive on the streets of New York calling out, oh, inhabitants of New York. Oh, New York Vasis. Today you can regain your life because Krishna is coming. All you have to do is come out onto the streets and look for him. I promise you, Krishna is coming. Srimati Subhadra Devi carries this message. Krishna is coming, Krishna is coming, Krishna is coming. And all of a sudden, this becomes a transcendental kirtan. Krishna is coming. Krishna is coming. Everyone is carrying the message all the way to a place, a little kunja, called Nidhuvan. Within Nidhuvan, we see Radharani in a very, very precarious position. She has been in such acute pangs of separation that she is almost on the verge of dying. She has been laying there, and everyone is seeing there's no way to bring her back. It looks as though we'll lose her today. Everyone has gathered. Anyone who ever said anything badly about her. So her in-laws, everybody, they're all gathering. And they've all atoned and sought her blessings. We apologize. Anything we ever said, we take it back. There could be no one more pure than you. There could be no one more worshipable than you. They all gather together. And finally, Subhadra Devi has arrived. Baladev has arrived. And as Balarama arrives in Nidhuvan, he takes a very amazing form. His eyes dilate. His arms almost recede. They shrink into his body. And with a blissful smile, he is unable to say or do anything. He's frozen. This is what Balabhadra looks like within our Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra deities. Subhadra Rani also. She looks at Radharani in this condition, all of the Brajabasis in this condition, and she's too stunned to be able to even carry the message any further. This is a pivotal moment. Someone's got to tell Radharani Krishna is coming. But will she even believe them? Krishna arrives on the scene. Sometimes the gopis are holding just a small swab of cotton underneath her nose to see if she's still breathing. That is how lifeless she has appeared. Krishna arrives on the scene. He looks at this vision of Srimati Radhika. He enters what is called Maha Bhav Prakash, this form of the ultimate abode of emotion and love. His eyes dilate. His arms recede back toward his body. And he falls unconscious. What do we do now? Who can carry this message? The breeze, one of the most fortunate entities in all of Vrndavan Dham, a breeze touches Krishna's body and wafts over and touches Radharani's body. Much like when she was small, when she was born, when she was found by Vrishabhanuraj and Kirtida Devi, she wouldn't open her eyes. She wouldn't speak. Looked like she wouldn't even hear anyone. And Krishna arrives on the scene, and a breeze carries the scent of his body to her. And as soon as that breeze enters her nose and she smells Krishna's aroma, his very unique bodily scent, she opens her eyes. Much the same, as soon as this breeze touches her body, she opens her eyes. And it is said that Srimati Lalita Devi, in the sweetest voice, whispers into her ear, Krishna has come. Srimati Radharani begins to regain her life. Oh, my Krishna has come. But Krishna is still unconscious. They all run to Krishna. There's only one medicine, only one way to bring him back to external consciousness. The gopis whisper into Krishna's ear, Oh Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. Krishna opens his eyes. And it is said that as Krishna opens his eyes, Srimati Radharani opens her eyes. There is eye-to-eye union. This is love at first sight. This is that amazing phenomenon that we've been searching after and trying to find all the rest of our days. This is the love at first sight that we can all believe in, even if you're the greatest skeptic. Just let it happen. This unprecedented romantic moment. They look at one another. Everyone is there. Now this is completely unprecedented. Elders are there. Everybody's there. And Krishna promises, this form that I have assumed this day, this form which is the ultimate abode of love, this form which is the actual representation of love at first sight, this form of mine that only sees my love for you, will be worshipped forevermore. I will appear in this form to give the greatest mercy, and I will be worshipped by devotees forever and ever in this form of divine love. It says, because I am so indebted to my brother and my sister for enabling this pastime, they will also be worshipped along with me in this unprecedented form. This is Jagannath, our Lord of Mahabhav. So when you see Jagannath and you see his wide open eyes, his blissful smile, his arms, which look short but really adorable, when you see this form, we can remember this is what love looks like. They say that Krishna, when he awoke, when he was in this mood, he was intoxicated. Right? Originally, Narada begins to play. Krishna goes, let me go to my chariot. He's intoxicated. He's shaking, trembling, swaying with the love of Srimati Radharani. This is how deeply Krishna feels. And so, if you have seen in Puri the procession of bringing Krishna, bringing Lord Jagannath to his chariot, he's moving. He's rocking. He's shaking. This is Krishna, intoxicated with love for his dearest beloved. And the Pandas say, they're not the ones doing the moving. It is Jagannath. No one can make a deity that big move according to their own will. Krishna moves according to his own will. In fact, in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, when they describe the procession of Lord Jagannath going to his chariot during Rathyatra, they say, although you appear to have no legs, you move by your own will. This is Jagannath moving, swaying. We should relish every single moment of this. We are witnessing something which has actually never before been seen. There are devatas and celestials who are clamoring just to see a moment because this is a pastime. Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj say that this explanation of these pastimes were even hidden. How fortunate are we? Everyone from anywhere in all of the universe can hop on a Zoom and hear them. pastimes that were never before heard or seen. But why exactly does Jagannath look the way he looks? Another one. The Dwarkavasis are always very confused about this Braj Leela. Krishna sometimes is asleep and he controls himself very well during the day. He puts up a good front. You know, you ever get somebody after a breakup, they put on a really good front during the day, and at night you can't fool anybody. But at night he can't fool anybody. In his dreams he can't fool anybody. And so at night he is heard to be saying, "Oh Radhe, Radhe, oh Gopi, Gopi." And his wives are quite taken aback, as anyone would be, because who is this other woman? You have 16,108 wives and none of them are named Radhe. What's happening here? So they say, we don't understand what's happening. They all gather around the one person in Dwarka who can help them. Rohini Devi. Rohini is one of the most fortunate people in all of creation. She witnessed Krishna's Vrndavan pastimes and then goes to everywhere else with him, Mathura, Dwarka, etc. She gets to see everything. So they say, "Oh Rohini, you have been there for everything. Can you please explain to us the mystery of this Braj Leela?" She says, "I would, but if Krishna Balaram hear it, there will be no stopping them from running to Vrndavan. So someone has got to make sure that they don't hear it. No one wants to leave that assembly. Thousands of wives and everybody says, well, I want to hear it. Subhadra Devi says, I volunteer as tribute. I will guard the door so that Krishna Balaram don't come and hear and understand this Braj Leela and run off. So the stage is set. Subhadra Devi goes and she takes her stance. She stands by the door like this. She looks. And Rohini begins to extol the glories of Braj Leela. Everyone is in complete ecstasy, listening with rapt attention. They almost don't want to breathe. Right? No blinking, no breathing, don't do anything. They're just relishing Braj Leela. But who can keep the vibration of that kind of kirtan out from the hearts of Krishna Balaram? They begin to travel toward that room. And they hear this Braj Leela. And Subhadra Devi wants to warn everybody, Krishna is coming, be quiet, be quiet. But she can't. From listening to that Braj Leela, she goes into ecstasy. Her eyes dilate. And her arms also shrink into her body. Because her arms are out like this, they shrink in this way. So it appears as though Subhadra Devi has no arms. They're just on the sides. Voila, right? Amazing, mind-blown moment. Oh my goodness. And so because she is so stunned, she can't even warn them that Krishna Balaram are coming. Krishna Balaram arrive. They hear. They also go into ecstasy. Their arms shrink in, their eyes dilate. And you might think, this is a very strange way of experiencing happiness, but it's not. Have you ever seen a child get really happy? When kids get really, really excited or really happy, they do this. That's Jagannath. Super simple. Like there's so many reels about it. Kids who get really happy, like, oh my God, I can't control myself, it's so good. That's Jagannath. So, this is Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. And Rohini sees this scene and she immediately stops speaking. They return to their original forms very quickly. But there's a problem. Narada Muni reveals himself on the scene. He says, I saw it! I already saw it! You can't hide it from me! I saw it! I saw what happened. I saw the most unique forms that anyone has ever seen in the history of creation. Oh my Lord, I only have one prayer, one wish. If you ask me to ask for any benediction, it is this. Let these forms of ecstatic love be worshipped throughout the rest of time. You must appear in these forms, and you must enable your devotees to worship you. Our Lord of the greatest compassion says, so be it. This is Jagannath. So tomorrow, let us all carry the greatest message. Krishna is coming. Krishna is coming. Our lives will be made perfect. Krishna is coming. Let's tell everyone we meet with the greatest ecstatic happiness. Our Krishna is coming. He is leaving his temple, leaving behind all of the greatest worship. Now everyone can feed him. Everyone can see him. Everyone can perform devotional service. It is said within the Nectar of Devotion that simply by smelling the incense that has been offered to the deity of Sri Krishna, that is devotional service. Imagine how many hundreds of thousands and millions of people will be doing devotional service tomorrow, whether they know it or not, and Krishna will still accept it. How fortunate are we that today is Ekadashi, but in some places tomorrow is Ekadashi. And what I know about Ekadashi Devi is she is supremely willing to give blessings. So, I feel as though her protective nature will carry over into tomorrow. So with that combination of this Mahabhav Prakash Lila, this Lila of Lord Jagannath, and the blessings of Ekadashi Devi, it will be the most important days of our lives. The most wonderful days of our lives. Let us take full advantage and carry the kirtan that Krishna is coming. Our Krishna is coming. Thank you so much for being with me and allowing me to speak something. I hope it brought joy to your heart, and I hope we are all that much more excited for this beautiful court festival.
Thank you. Rathyatra Gopi Devi Prabhu, beautifully said in the beginning. There's nothing that can happen to you that Krishna does not understand. Wow, what a cool statement. What a relief to hear. Okay, we can take one or two burning questions or reflections. Let's do Shyam and Jyam's mom. Wow.
Yeah. I felt supremely blessed just by seeing her.
Yeah. Okay. Reflection. We're just getting smiles at you. There's no chastisements, no corrections today. Just smiles. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in this morning. Happy Ekadashi. Rathyatra Gopi, thank you so much for helping us get a deeper understanding of what this Ekadashi is about. Thank you very much. We love you. We love who you are. We love how you speak, how you move, how you chant, how you dance. Thank you so much. Very inspiring.
Hopefully I'll see many more of you later on today at noon.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see everybody. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama.
Jai.
Hare Bol. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.